An example 2 in section 3.1, and now we're going to classify pairs of angles. So we've got quite a few terms to go over. If I haven't been clear yet in class, the little note that I have here, and I'm hoping I've already discussed this in class, is we are going to write our terms as part of our homework in our electronic notebook. So instead of handwriting them out, which can be laborious, I think some of you can type a little faster. We can break it up into chapter and section and maybe even pull up this information a little bit faster than we could in a bulky notebook. So we're going to collectively keep important terms and important rules in our electronic notebook, and I'll let you know from time to time when to access that notebook and put these things in. You'll see notes on there in your note packet telling you what to do. So part of your homework will be to not only listen to the video and follow along and do the work with me and try and understand what we're doing, but also to write down your terminologies as well. I always do a lot better when I write things down. A lot of times if I just write it or type it one time, it just solidifies it a little bit better in my brain. And you may even want to draw a picture in your notebook. You can do this. I think I'm going to have left you the option of creating your own handwritten notebook or doing an electronic notebook, I believe. So if not, then disregard everything I just said and do whatever I told you to do in class. All right, so let's start off with, let's say we've got two lines that are on top of each other, as you can see in the example, in the top example in the box where it says know it, note, angle pairs formed by a transversal. A transversal is a line that intersects two coplanar lines at two different points. So in this particular case, the transversal, we're going to mark that as a little t. Okay, that's our transversal. It's cutting across two lines at two different points. And they're going to form 8 angles, which they've numbered for you. They color-coded this outside the exterior part right here and here. Those are light colored. Those are outside of both lines, and then in between the two lines, we call that interior. Okay, so your exterior angles are going to be angles 1 and 2, as well as 7 and 8, because they lie outside of the two lines. And then your interior are the angles that are formed by that transversal that are inside, in between the two lines, which would be 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so a transversal, it's a line that cuts through two other coplanar lines at two different points. Okay, now corresponding angles lie on the same side of the transversal in approximately the same position. Okay, so in our example here, they said, well, angles 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. So angles 1 and 5 are corresponding. They lie on the same side of the transversal and positionally are located in the same position for each of the lines for R and for line S. Line R, see where angle 1 is? It's above line R and to the left of the transversal. Line S, angle 5, is above line S and left of the transversal. So both of them are above their respective lines and to the left of the transversal. That means they correspond positionally. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily the same angle measure, but they correspond positionally. Okay, let's talk about this terminology. Alternate interior angles. So interior, right away, you know that they're going to lie between your two lines. Okay, so they're going to be in that colored region in between R and S. Okay. Alternate interior angles are non-adjacent. That means they're not next to each other. They're on opposite sides of the transversal between lines R and S. So let me erase what I've kind of already written up here. It gets a little muddy if you don't erase from time to time. Alternate interior angles, non-adjacent, opposite sides of the transversal between R and S, okay? The examples they gave, they said, well, angle 3 and angle 6, okay? Now look at them respectively. Are they in between R and S? Yes, so they're interior. Alternating means they lie on opposite sides of the transversal. And so that's what an alternating or an alternate interior angle looks like. It would never be 3 and 4, okay? Alternate interiors are always above on one line and below the other line on opposite sides of that transversal. That's how it tends to be, okay? All right, let's see here. And non-adjacent, there's that key word. That's what disqualifies angle 3 and angle 4 from being alternate interior angles, because they're adjacent. 3 and 4 are next to each other. They share a transversal as an angle side, and so that means they would be adjacent, and these angles cannot be adjacent. All right, alternate exterior angles. This is interesting. Same concept, but you're focusing on the outside. Don't look on the inside. So I'm going to erase what's in here. Don't look on the inside. Look on the outside where 1, 2, 7, and 8 are. Same concept, okay? If we start with angle 1, then we have to go to the other side of the transversal, and the only one on the other side is 8. That's an exterior. That's an alternate exterior angle, okay? The other pair would be 2 and 7, okay? Angle 2 and angle 7 would be another example. Another example of an alternate interior angle besides 3 and 6 would be 4 and 5. See how that works? Okay, corresponding angles, you've got 1 and 5, 3 and 7, let's see here, 2 and 6, 4 and 8. Those are several right there, aren't there? I got lots of choices there. All right, last one, same side interior. Same side interior. Let me erase a little bit. Okay, let's take some of that off, clear up our figure so we can make it make sense. All right, same side interior angles, also known as consecutive interior angles. I don't really remember, when I took geometry a long time ago, I don't really remember hearing it said that way, consecutive interior angles. It's not incorrect, I just think the more common lingo is same side interior angles. And what's going on here is these angles lie on the same side of the transversal between the lines R and S. So it's in the interior region on the same side of the transversal. So they gave us the example 3 and 5. 3 and 5. They're both between R and S, so they're on the interior, and they're both on the left side of the transversal. Well, what would be another example? Right, angles 4 and 6 would be your other pair. There's 2 pairs of same side interior angles, 2 pairs of your alternate exterior angles, 2 pairs of alternate interior angles, and 4 pairs of corresponding angles. So there are choices there. Okay, so I've just gone through, I've taught you kind of the basics on these particular angle pairings. So now on letter A, they want you to identify corresponding angles. You have 4 pairs to choose from. Now this time you're going to focus on this figure right here, okay? We're not going to use the one above, we're going to use the one to the right of our example 2. So pick any angle where you want to start, okay? So let's say today I want to do angle 4, okay? You could have picked something else. Remember, there's 4 pairs of these, so you're not necessarily going to be wrong. Angle 4, and what matches up with it would be angle 8. Good job. That's a corresponding angle. What would match up with angle 1? Right, 5. What would match up with angle 2? 6. And how about angle 3? 7. Correct. So there's 4 pairs there. All right, let's go to the right. Letter B, alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles. Let me erase this real quick. okay? Alternate interior. So we need to stay in between. We need to stay in this region right here in between our two lines, which aren't labeled, so I can't call them out for you. So alternate interior, you've got two choices. You're going to have 4 and 6, or 3 and 5. Okay, so those are alternate interior. Let's look at alternate exterior. So now we're not going to focus on the inside. We're going to focus out here. Let me erase a little bit just to make it a little bit easier on your eyeballs. We're going to focus out here and out here, not inside. So alternate exterior, we have a couple choices. You could have angles 1 and 7, or you could have 2 and 8. Okay, so those are your alternate exterior. And then your same side interior, so you're back inside, just like we were for letter B, back inside in the interior between the two lines. And we've got same side, so that'd be 4, 5, as well as 3, 6. Okay? So that's it in a nutshell. These are important terms, so please get those in your electronic notebook or in your notebook of some sort, whatever I've told you to do. And if you have questions, write those down, mark this area so we can talk about this a little bit more.